everybody. My new show here with Steve Grad, my co-host, and this is our very first show. Welcome, everybody.
What is up, Brody? Are you ready for this?
I am very ready. I've been waiting a long time to get ready for this, and I'm ready.
All right, well, why don't you tell everybody what we have planned for today?
So we got a lot of fun stuff planned. We got some Prizm Draft Picks basketball we're going to do. We got some special guests. Lots of fun stuff we're going to do today. It's going to be an awesome first show.
All right, I like hearing that. We got the guys from Buck City Breaks. Chris and Adam will be joining us, as well as my buddy Pat Neshek. And Pat is a good friend of mine, also a Major League Baseball pitcher. So he's got a lot to add. Plus, he's a huge card collector.
That's awesome. So this is going to be a great day. Tune in for giveaways that we will be having later. So it's going to be awesome.
Well, I do want to introduce everybody, and we have to talk about kind of what we do, who we are, and my background a little bit is, I've been in the hobby pretty much forever, since I'm about your age. I started going to baseball card shows when I was about 10 years old. I've been collecting autographs since I was 8 or 9 years old. It's kind of been in my blood for years. I used to set up at baseball card shows, just sell autographs, baseball cards. And then starting in 2002, I really got my foot in the door with PSA and PSA DNA, where I was from 2002 to 2016. But now I'm with Beckett Authentication, and you know all about Beckett Authentication. Since 2016, we have been ruling the authentication world. So that's where I'm at now. And I'm also, as kind of a side job, I just started my 7th year filming with the TV show Pawn Stars and History Channel. So I'm sure you guys have seen me on there. I know, Brody, you've seen me on there before, haven't you?
Yep, definitely.
Okay, you better have. No problem. I know you're a big fan. So so I do that show too. And as part of all this, it's been a great honor and thrill. And I get to represent the hobby, which I really enjoy.
So that's a little bit about Steve's. Now I'm going to talk a little bit about myself. So I've been a big collector for a couple of years, and I just started to realize that there's not enough kids in this hobby. First show mistake, number one. So eventually we're going to realize that there's not going to be any kids in the hobby, and then what are we going to do? There's going to be no more hobby because there's not going to be any adults from the kids from now. So I realized that. So now I have a blog on bigleaguebreaks.com that I write talking about products and a bunch of stuff like that. Sometimes I have interviews, which I had you on episode 14, the hashtag the guy from Pawn Stars.
Good stuff, right?
Yeah, that was a good one. So we also I've interviewed some awesome people like superstar Heath Slater and Daniel Logan, who played Boba Fett, the young Boba Fett in Star Wars. Really cool. It's really awesome.
So you're trying to get more kids into the hobby, correct?
Yes. Yes, I am.
And you've been working on that for a lot of years. And I know you've seen some success with it. We're at the Chicago Sports Spectacular, the last one they had. Remember, you and I had a chance to sit up there and kind of give away some stuff, get people more interested in what we were doing, which is a good thing. So, and when I met you, Brody, at the National, I said, man, we should do something here. I was thinking about this. We should do something really, really cool, and that's what we're doing today. So enough about us. Let's get to our first guest of our first show. Everybody, brace yourselves.
Everybody, please welcome from Buck City Breaks, Chris and Adam. Woo!
Woo! What's going on?
Happy Woo! It's a lot of excitement right there. Thanks for joining us, guys.
Thank you, guys.
Steve, Brody. How are you guys doing?
Pretty good.
Doing pretty good, I think. Yeah, Brody, you hanging in there?
Yeah. Hopefully.
He's got the hair game on, guys. Can you see? Of course. I mean, it's like A+ hair game today.
We have to put hats on anytime we see Brody because.
Yeah, I see. I was kind of feeling bad. I don't have my hair game going today.
Do you ever have your hair game going? Just asking.
No, I don't. But anyways, tell us a little bit more about BCB, guys.
Oh man. Yeah, Buck City Breaks. For those who don't know, Adam and I, lifelong best friends. This, by the way, Titans fan, Adam. I'm the Dolphins fan, Chris. But yeah, lifelong best friends. We collected together all throughout our lives, Pokemon cards, Pogs, you name it. And I don't know, probably 5 years before we actually started breaking, we got into football cards pretty heavy together. And turned it from hobby to now it's a business, and it's kind of our hobby for the hobby. We really enjoy what we do and interacting with people like Brody, yourself, people we get to meet, things like that. So yeah, that's the origin story of Buck City Breaks, I guess.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Okay, I like that. I mean, I know you guys are huge fans of Brody's, and Brody, you're huge fans of theirs, right?
Yep, definitely one of my favorite breakers, that's for sure.
Thanks, man.
So, for collectors who are interested in breaking but aren't really sure how to do it, do you guys have any suggestions of how they could get started?
I mean, there's tons of breakers out there. But it's just, I guess it's just finding people you can get along with. I feel like we've created a community and a collective, like on Twitter, is probably like our main collective, like where all these people get together and we can all talk about the same things, our lives. We know each other's families and stuff like that, and it's just where you can fit in, I guess. Get in where you can fit in.
Yeah, and with breaks too. So one, it doesn't matter what breaker anybody ever decides to go with, they can always come and hang out in our live streams. We have our saying of friendships are free. So we have a lot of relationships with people who've never even bought into our break, but they come and hang out with us all the time, and that's a great place if you just want like information. If somebody pop into our live streams or follow us on Twitter, things like that, we're open books, man. We'll answer any questions that you have. The other thing too, though, is that it's really difficult to answer that question without like talking to the person that's asking it, just because they're like that's the beauty of this hobby, right? There's something for everyone, so there's not a blanket answer for this. When
Well,
it comes
tell me. Let's say I've not done it before. So tell me, pretend I'm the guy that's asking. Like, I really want to know because it's something that I'm really interested in, but I don't know much about it.
Yeah, absolutely. So Steve, if you ever got in, man, like you would find a product or a sport that you enjoy. And what Adam and I do is we take, full sealed cases of products and we open those live for people on YouTube. Individuals can purchase spots from our website. And so instead of buying the entire, full sealed case for yourself, you might just want, a particular team. So we jump in there, grab your team, and you're kind of splitting that case with other people. So you would get any card from that team that we pull when we ship that.
And I feel like we get to ask this question too, like every once in a while, like, so like what should I buy into? How do you collect? Do you like parallels? Do you like inserts? Do you like big hits? Do you like the more expensive product? What's your budget? So it depends on that kind of stuff.
Yeah. And that's where I was getting at too. That's the beauty of this hobby is that there's something out there for everyone. It doesn't matter if you're a base set collector, if you like parallels and all the different numbered variations of cards. If you like the cards that look like they should be in museums that are bat knobs and pieces of a jersey, things like that. There's something for everyone, which is really, really cool. And yeah, but yeah, if you ever pop in, or Steve, if you ever answered that question for us, man, like we'd be able to tell you, hey, we would recommend this product, pop into one of these break styles.
So you recommend me I'm a White Sox fan, so we've got a lot of good players coming up, so
yeah,
those cards are going to be hot, aren't they?
Yeah.
And Brody's a White Sox fan too.
Yep.
So.
Yeah. So just tell me, like, for people that have never broke with you but have broken with other people, what makes Buck City Breaks different than your other typical breakers?
It's hard to say community. It's easy, but it's also hard because there are a lot of awesome breaking communities out there.
Yeah. That's
our go-to answer, just because the individuals that are in the chat and like that embrace you as soon as you pop into one of our breaks, it's unlike anything that we've ever seen. But once again, there are other awesome communities out there within the cardboard community and the breaking community. The biggest thing I think that separates us, and we haven't really seen anybody come close to imitating this yet, is we have the Buck City Breaker Box. So that is a kind of a subscription box style service, has like the look and feel of a subscription box, but it's exclusive to individuals who buy into our breaks. And how we do that is just based on the number of breaks you get in. If you lose, like if you quote unquote lose, if you don't get a hit or card in different styles of breaks, you get what we call tough breaks entries, which will go towards your breaker box and things like that. So, and I do want to say something too, Brody, with us, being on the first episodes, man, we did want to make you the first honorary breaker box recipient of 2020. So you will receive a breaker box this month. Come with a little mini breaker mat
Wow.
or everything like that. So we look forward to seeing you rip that thing open.
That's awesome,
Pretty
guys.
Add to that
Thank
too.
you. I've seen. I mean, I'm not gonna try to, but I've seen PC87 and Cheddar Bob open those before, and those look really cool. So I'm excited to see that.
You're right there on their level now, man. They get their honorary every month, but you are now the announced official first recipient of the 2020 Buck City Breaker box.
Thank you
man,
guys
I think we like to have fun, and we bring a lot of excitement to it. Like we get excited about our hits and stuff, whether it's a small hit, like I pull an AJ Brown. Somebody might not think that's like a big hit or whatever, but I think it's a big hit, and I get excited about it. But like our loyalty programs, and we always say, like Chris said earlier, like friendships are free and stuff like that. You can pop into our chat and hang out all night. We have cats that hang out all night, and they don't buy into breaks. It's cool. They hang out and they bring a lot of excitement to our chat and the community and answer questions and help everybody else out.
Yeah. And we're always here to answer questions. We're never going to sell you. Like, we're not salesmen. We're not, sitting there pushing people to get into our breaks or anything like that. If anybody wants to get into our break, that's awesome. We'll answer any questions that they have. But if they don't, we're not going to think any different of you. Yeah.
Right, yeah. But plus, you guys talked about bringing all that energy. You have the cue the woo! And sometimes I feel like my ears are gonna like fall apart after something huge comes, and then I'm like, "What in the world just happened?"
Yeah, don't wear headphones when you watch.
We should get Brody to record like a thing at the beginning of our videos, like a warning, do not wear headphones while watching this video.
Yeah. Yeah, if you wear like some like Turtle Beaches or whatever, like some Beats or something when you're listening to us, get the warranty before when you buy those things.
Yeah, you don't want to blow it off. So you guys are Brody, you're supposed to go ahead.
No, you go ahead. I've asked.
No, you go ahead.
You go ahead.
You go ahead, buddy.
You go
You'd be like Adam and I trying to talk at the same time.
We usually don't do that. I mean, sometimes, that's just how Brody is.
So I'll go ahead, Steve. You can come after. So, tell us, guys, anything you guys have going up, maybe. Just anything cool you think the community would be cool to see.
Did you say just what we have new going on with BCB?
Yeah.
Well, tomorrow is exciting. We're gonna be looking at we're expanding again. We're going on our third year now of breaking, and we're on our third break studio right now. Like we just keep growing. So we're trying to find a place to expand even more and hopefully settle in for a few years. And it's gonna be a couple different entities that we're gonna try to get into this year, but just the continued expansion and finding a spot, bringing on new individuals to help and work side by side with Adam and myself. It's going to be a big part of 2020, and we're going to be doing more baseball, which I think that you guys would probably enjoy more than we're like 99% football right now. So we will get into more baseball and basketball. 2020 is going to be a lot of fun for us.
And see, when we bring on new individuals too, it's going to be he used to break with us. He still hangs out in the chat and stuff like that, but he's going to move here.
Yeah.
Out of state from where he lives, and he's going to come work with us.
Yeah, we're going to bring on people from within the BCB fam and make this happen. We need to sign Brody to a deal, man. Like a college, like we're recruiting him.
Oh yeah, like
scholarship, go to Ohio State.
Tuition reimbursement. Yeah, I'm down.
That'll work out. Good job, Brody. You got so you guys committing to that now?
Scholarship offer, yeah.
I'm in like 5 years.
Children too. So.
Can you say go Bucks? Can you give us an OHIO?
He could say anything. Yeah, he's good to go. Yeah.
I don't know if I could do that. Guys, have any big mixers or big hit breaks you guys have coming up that even if you can't get into, very cool to watch or anything like that?
Oh man, it's always week to week with us. Like we're really bad at planning ahead.
So we break Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, and then Chris he came over here like 20-30 minutes ago, and he was like, I think I'm gonna load up a monster this week.
Yeah, so we'll have a big break on there this week, and actually whatever week anybody watches this, there'll probably be a big break on the site. Last year we did for a Super Bowl Sunday, we called it Super Woo Sunday, and that was a big time day for us as well. I don't know if I'll be able to take Adam away from the game on the Super Bowl if his Titans are playing in it, but if not, we'll try to do something cool. Maybe
yeah. Titans. No, but but like National Treasures and Flawless, like this is the time of year when like the big products come out, so it's gonna be fun within like the next month or two with huge stuff to watch.
Yeah, even then though we got select's like
So yeah,
top
select.
3 product for both of us. I think that's coming up too.
That's like the first rookie product for 2019 because they got the XRC redemptions in them.
Yeah.
So just this, Steve, you could talk after this question. I just got one more question.
No problem.
So, man, another mistake. I totally just brain farted what I was gonna ask. Steve, go ahead.
Good man.
You guys are gonna so we already did this. So you guys, let me just ask you about this. I'm interested in the White Sox stuff. What does it take money wise to do this too? I mean, what's my investment into this? Like, I want to get into this and I want to get all the White Sox guys one day. What do I have to invest in that? Because that's usually the biggest thing for me is like, what's my investment?
Yeah, and I think that's a big question for a lot of people, and it's all product and checklist dependent. So when we do this, and there's not once again a blanket answer for that because the teams are all going to be different prices, and the products as well too. We might have a product. If we're talking baseball, just within the next couple of months, we have Heritage and Series 1 stuff like that coming out, which the White Sox probably aren't going to be a super expensive team, I guess, as far as that product goes, just because the product itself isn't super expensive. Mm-hmm. You might get down the road and there'll be I'm trying to think about all the biggest baseball products because once again we're primarily football, but you get into Dynasty. Is that one, Brody? Help me out with the big high-end baseball products, man. Dynasty, that sounds like a soap opera to me, but I swear Dynasty was one of them.
Yeah, Dynasty. Yeah, definitely Dynasty.
So like triple threads and like a lot of the tributes coming out too. So it's so dependent on the product, but
museum.
Yeah. So like teams might range in price from $20 for a break all the way up to we've seen teams go as high as $300 for a break. It just depends on what their checklist looks like, which we take a lot of pride in analyzing the checklist, the rookie classes, things like that, because we don't want to charge you $1 billion for something that there's really no desirable.
Yeah, there's some products that come out and there's no hits for X amount of teams.
Yeah.
Can't imagine there's a lot of teams there's no hits for.
Yeah. What was it, Bowman Draft or something? There was like no Nationals cards, No.
Yeah, but the White Sox, they're going to have probably a pretty hot checklist this year. So I'd probably put them at the top, 25% of teams. So if we have a break that's starting out at $20 for like the super low end teams and $200 for the super high end teams, the White Sox might fall anywhere between $80 to $150.
Yeah, so investment wise, man, you put money in, you can go hit list, but that's why we like when we do our breaks that we have our loyalty program and our tough breaks our tough breaks program too as well. That ties in. You can get a breaker box at the end of the month if you go hit list and stuff like that. So there's no guarantee on your investment. If that answers your question.
I get that. That's part of the gamble, right? That's part of the game you play.
Right, and that's part of the whole hobby too.
Yeah.
Like you buy a hobby box and it might be a blank on that box, or you can hit big.
Yeah, pack of cards, hobby box, full case. The great thing about this is just not a lot of people have the ability to go in and buy an entire $5,000 case of cards, and that's the beauty of breaking is that now, hey, I just want the White Sox cards from this case. I don't care about anybody else. No New York, no LA. Like get that garbage out of here. I just want the White Sox. You can then get that sealed case, everything in there White Sox.
Yeah, so instead of spending $150 on a box of cards and getting nothing, you can spend $150 on your White Sox and in a full case, and hopefully gets a lot more.
Very cool. I like that.
Okay, I have one last question for you guys. I have a couple of ideas for what this might be, but what's your biggest hit you've ever gotten on camera in a break for somebody?
Oh, man.
Dude, it has to be that most recent one, right?
It has to be pretty recent, dude.
Like last week, man. It had to be that one.
I'm trying to think.
Because we pulled like Tom Brady autos, but they were redemptions. Last week, Chris pulled a 101 out of triple threads, and it was Tom Brady, Peyton Manning, and Patrick Mahomes passing the torch 101.
Yeah, I saw that on your Twitter or whatever. That thing was killer.
We could go beyond that, too. At this point in time, right now, probably it might be a Lamar Jackson RPA from National Treasures.
Yeah, I mean, we pulled a couple of nice Lamar Jackson RPAs, and those are $10,000+ cards right now.
Right, yeah.
At a 99, it's bonkers. I'd
Well, hey,
probably say that triple though.
Yeah.
That's a card that everybody was looking for in that product. Man, we pulled it, and it felt really good.
They have like what we call product killers, and that was the kill the product.
Yeah.
Hey, just for everybody out there, how do we find you guys on the World Wide Web or social media? Give us your taglines.
Social media, you can find us at Buck City Breaks across the board. So Instagram, Twitter is where we're probably the most active, and then Facebook as well. The website is buckcitybreaks.com, so keep it pretty easy there
Pretty
for you.
simple.
Then, yeah, you guys can find us on. We share our earpieces. I'm best friends. And then YouTube, we have 2 YouTube channels. Just you find us on Buck City Breaks on YouTube as well, or the Buck City Live channel.
Awesome. Brody?
Okay, so thank you guys for coming on. But before you leave, I'm going to start a countdown. When we get to 0, I want you both to yell woo as loud as you ever have done it, okay?
Oh, man, you don't want that? Do you really want that?
Yep, I want it. Okay, 3.
Hold on a second.
Okay.
All right, adjusting my mic.
3, 2, 1. I need a new headset.
Thanks again for joining us.
Thank you guys.
Hey, Brody,
All right,
real quick, man.
First
Make sure
kiss.
we want to give something away to your viewers as well too. We're really excited for you doing all this as well, man, and we're anxious to see these episodes as they progress and things like that. We don't necessarily have a particular break or anything, man, but we'd like to do a $100 Buck City Breaks gift card to one of your viewers of this, man. So however you want to give that away,
Wow.
the deal.
Thank you. That's awesome.
Make that happen, right?
Really awesome, guys. Thank you a lot. That's really cool.
We appreciate it. Thanks, guys.
You guys are very welcome. Thanks for having us on.
Appreciate
All
you
right,
guys.
we
Thanks for
appreciate it.
joining.
Thanks very much.
Peace out.
Peace out.
Peace out.
And thanks to the Buck City Breaks guys for coming on. We'll give you guys more information on how to win that $100 giveaway that we're going to be doing. So we'll be putting that out on social media. So Brody, what do you got for us?
Okay, so we're going to get into some box breaking. So we got a pretty hot product here. We have 2019 Panini Prizm Draft Picks Basketball. So this is a blaster box, but so it'd be $20 at Target or Walmart. But it is, if you resell this stuff, it will go for a lot more. Like if you resell it on eBay or you're looking for it at your local card shop, it could be anywhere from $35 to $40. But this is part of the Zion Williamson hunt, so this should be a fun break.
And so that's the guy you want out of there, right?
Yeah, that's the main guy, but I mean, there's also some other good ones: John Morant, Kobe White, Tyler Hero.
All right, we'll let her rip, baby. Let's go. Let's do this.
7 packs, 4 cards per pack.
All right.
Here's my cutter. And look for
you're improving your box opening skills since the last time I saw you.
And also look for blaster exclusive blue parallels out of here. So here is the pack. Let's do it. So here is the design. If you have not seen it before, I'm sure a lot of our viewers have, but I don't know. Steve, have you seen this card before? So that is Nick Claxton from Georgia, so that's a nice card. We have a Tyler Hero, who's playing pretty well for the Heat right now.
Very good.
So we got a blue of Justin Wright Foreman.
Very good. Keep those in mint condition.
And then we got a nice R.J. Barrett rookie right there.
Very nice. All right.
So, yeah, I mean...
So that's pack 1 down.
Yeah, I mean, these cards are going to be shiny. They're going to look cool.
They're really shiny.
Yeah. Tremont Waters.
Cool.
He is on the Celtics. Brandon Clark from Gonzaga. Okay, we have our first silver, and it's a nice one for the Bulls, Kobe White. That's pretty cool.
Nice.
So that's a nice one.
I've seen his autograph. It does not look good.
Yeah, it's just CW.
Yeah, it's really ugly.
Oh, that's a lot of guys nowadays, though. And then we have a Bull to end that pack.
All right, so that's pack 2 down. Still no luck with Zion.
No Zion yet. You got Jordan Bone, Nasir Little. That's pretty cool. He is on the Trailblazers. We have another blue, Carson Edwards, right there.
Very nice.
So
So blue's good.
yeah, blue's a Blaster exclusive, so you can only
Cool.
find him in the Blasters. So.
Very
And
cool.
Carson Edwards is pretty good at Purdue, so that's a cool one. And Jackson Hayes.
Very good. Okay, so that's pack 3 down.
Yeah.
Now we're looking at pack 4.
Yeah, 4 more packs. Grant Williams, who's
Nice.
very good at Tennessee. And we got Brantley. And whoa, silver Zion Williamson. There we
Nice.
go. That
All
is
right,
a
good.
silver too. Wow, nice.
What's that worth?
I'm not very good at telling my Zion prices these days because they can go for a lot. So.
All right, we'll get them graded by Beckett Grading Services.
That's a very nice one right there.
And also, let's not forget this before you go any further, because we do have to mention it, the Hobby Life with Steve Grad and Brody the Kid. It's also sponsored by Southern Hobby and Beckett, so let's not forget that. But go ahead.
Okay, and right behind it, a nice Ja Morant rookie.
Nice. Okay, so we're 4 packs down, correct?
Yeah.
Is it 3 more to go?
Yeah, I mean, you've got some nice pulls, so.
Being halfway through here, how do you grade your rip so far? Good or bad?
Pretty good, I would say, especially with that Zion. Definitely pretty good. You got Dylan Windler. I believe he's on the Cavs.
Nice.
Jalen Hands.
Very nice.
For UCLA. And we got another blue of Jordan Poole, who is on the very struggling Warriors right now.
You seem to be pulling a lot of those. I like it.
Kind of a disappointing season so far for the Warriors. Tyler Hero.
They'll be back next year.
Yeah, I'm sure.
They've had a lot of good luck lately.
I mean, no Curry, no Thompson.
2 left?
But yeah, 2 left.
It happens. What did you have? 2 left. All right.
Yeah.
Make them count.
Grant Williams, All-Americans insert.
Very nice.
We have a Chicago Bull and Daniel Gafford.
All right, I like that.
We have another blue of Admiral Schofield for the Wizards. That's pretty cool.
Cool.
Tennessee. And we have another Zion, and this is a All-American Zion.
Oh, cool. So that's 2 out of here.
So 2
Very
Zions.
nice.
It's definitely pretty good. And we still have 1 more pack.
All right.
Let me move all these real quick. Okay, now we can get to it. Ty Jerome. Jarrett Culver on the Timberwolves from Texas Tech was very
cool.
Good. Very good in college. Crusade insert of Jackson Hayes.
That's a cool card.
Yeah. Just a little shiny there. And Ignis. I'm not going to try it.
Very, very nice. So that's it.
That was a very good break. I mean, the Zion tells the story, if I could find it. Yeah, the Zion tells the story pretty much.
Well, Brody, speaking of some hits, we have a great giveaway for one of our viewers. Why don't you tell everybody about it?
So, it is a 2019 Panini Illusions football, so nice product. Stadium Legends autographs, 13 of 30 for the Minnesota Vikings, Robert Smith. So, very cool card, but that's not all. It has been graded by BGS, and it graded a 9.5 Gem Mint and a 10 auto. So this is an amazing card that you guys can win. Steve,
and that's pretty awesome. So if you want to win this card, here's how you have to do it. Make sure you follow us on Twitter or Instagram and also Facebook. Retweet our tweet with the contest details, and you could win. The winner will be announced on our next show.
So stay tuned for that on the next show.
Yeah, and thank you to Beckett for that great giveaway. You know what? And don't forget, we're going to have a lot of cool stuff coming up. Beckett graded. That's going to be awesome. We're going to be giving all this stuff away on the show.
Yep, so thank you again, Beckett. Very awesome. It's time for our second interview, and it is a big one. We need a drum roll.
And our next guest is my good friend Pat Neshek. You guys probably know Pat. You know, he's a great pitcher. The Twins, the Padres, the A's, the Cardinals, Astros, Rockies, twice with the Rockies, the Phillies last season.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I don't
and
even know anymore.
yeah, I'm trying to get Pat to pitch for the White Sox, so I don't know if that's ever going to happen. But honestly, welcome, a good friend of mine, Pat Neshek, all-star pitcher, one of the best, really, one of the best relievers in baseball when he's healthy. Not like last season, unfortunately. Your leg, hamstring.
Oh yeah, yep. Hamstring went out, tore off the bone, so I had to get that fixed.
It's a pretty painful injury, huh?
It hurt when I did it, and then the surgery was a pretty awful surgery. It was about a month being stuck in a bed, and then I started to slowly walk. Then I got rid of my crutches, and after that it wasn't too bad. But I mean, that was about 2 months into it where I could finally feel good. So yeah, I'm starting to finally feel myself again here. So.
Good. I like hearing that. And I think one of the great things about Pat is your love for collecting, whether it's autographs, baseball cards, graded cards. You've got actually some of the nicest graded card sets in existence. 1970 Topps set I know is one of the best. You're a huge collector, but, and this is something that I find awesome. It's hard to collect new cards signed. I mean, you really, like, if you're a new guy trying to chase stuff, how far back do you go now with Topps sets signed, almost literally complete?
Yeah, so I started when I was coming up in the big leagues in 2006 and 7, I did really well. I did a lot of baseballs, and I thought that was going to be the cool thing to have, and I would trade a lot of the ones I'd get and trade them with fans for stuff I wanted. And then I had Tommy John, and I came back, and it was a slow comeback where I was in AAA it took me like 3 years before I really felt myself again. And in that time, I said, if I get back, I'm going to start doing some of these top sets. I'm going to get everybody in the league to sign their card. And so I was in with the clubbies, and I would, tip them really good and have them go get a lot of the guys on the other side of the clubhouse. And that's kind of how I started that with those sets. And I started that in 2013. So I'm like 20 cards away on some of them. I think the 2015 set, I'm under 10 cards right now. I just found a nice Papelbon, and I have to look on eBay. I have to look with other traders, and some guys will, go out to, say a guy's throwing a first pitch for a little league. They'll go try to track one of these guys down. And I actually got a Facebook message from a guy in Dominican Republic yesterday, and he said he could get some of these guys for me, and I thought that was really cool. That it's nice seeing what the internet has become in the last 15, 20 years.
It's pretty amazing. I know Brody's got some questions for you, so Brody, go ahead, fire away.
Okay, so Pat, thank you so much for joining us again. So we know you're a big collector, so just want to know what got you into collecting.
Well, see, in the mid 80s, like 85, 86, 87, Topps kind of had a big boom where that was like the cool thing to do. You had BMX bikes, you had baseball cards, and Nintendo. That's what we did in the 80s. And me, right down the street, Kirby Puckett, he had a house, and I grew up in Brooklyn Park, Minnesota. So we'd go by there for Halloween. He'd buy hockey candy bars from us, and he had a really cool 1985 Topps card that everybody wanted. I think it was like $20, and I couldn't afford it back then. That was a lot of money, and all my friends would have it, and that was kind of, was the thing, was buy a pack and maybe you'll get a Kirby Puckett rookie card. And then from there, 87 was a huge year. They came in, I believe it was Sam's Club would carry the wax cases, and you'd buy a case, and they were like $50 a box back then. And we all saw what happened in those years in the 80s. It was kind of an overproduction, but that's what got me into it. My dad, he would take me in Minnesota. They had a shop called Schinders, and that was the cool place to go after church or after a baseball game. So that's what got me into it.
That's really awesome. Yeah.
That's pretty awesome. I mean, I know the thing is, the thing that I've been always interested in, Pat, is like, you have a lot of good incidents with guys, but like collecting autographs is not the most common thing with baseball players these days. I mean, I know it's become more prevalent, and there's actually some guys who display their collections like collecting. I mean, how many guys do you find in the majors that have likewise collecting habits? Is you even with autographs or just baseball card collecting?
Yeah, it's weird. Everybody's got like a curiosity. I'll always get people to come up and say, hey, what is this worth? Or my dad has this, or I used to have cards that got handed down to me. So there's a curiosity, but I don't think anybody goes full into it. Now with me, I had a really cool roommate in college who would go on weekends and get autographs. He would get a lot of college basketball teams and college football. And this was in the early days of eBay. He would sell a lot of his stuff, but I would just go and tag along because up in Minnesota, it was really hard to get into like Minnesota Gopher games and get autographs after. And we didn't have minor league stadiums. So when I went to school in Indianapolis, we had A-ball teams in the area. We had AAA teams. And that got me, it was really cool to know I could go meet these players, get autographs. So that's what got me going into it. And I always was a pretty decent baseball player. And I said, if I'm going to come up through the minors, I'm going to still collect and do this. And, but yeah, I haven't, you'll see a couple guys and a lot of guys, just some guys do some weird stuff. Howie Kendrick collects old bobbleheads. Brad Ziegler does baseball bat knobs that are in, like top sets. And he'll search eBay but some guys, it's just special things. But there's a few guys but it's really hard. They got to kind of get that itch to put some money into it and have fun with it.
And I know years ago, back when I first started to know you, came with Heath Bell to PSA, and he still has stuff, and he collected, and you were kind of into it. So it's really cool to see that connection, and it's really, I don't think there's anything wrong with it because I feel like baseball cards and baseball players kind of go hand in hand, And I mean, I really think it's a cool thing. Plus, if guys realize the value of baseball cards, like like your 1970 top set is what, PSA 8 or better?
It's I think I only need I have 80% of it done in 10.
Wow. Okay. So there you go.
It's up there. Yeah. It's been a lifetime collection. So
it's pretty awesome. And and then you have an opposite 70 top set that is almost all autographed, correct?
Yes. Yeah. I'm down, I think 43 guys I need left. And I mean, I don't know if I'm ever going to find, some of the Clementes. I don't even know if you could find I'm sure they're out there, but there's one with him and Santo, and I believe Lee May or somebody's on it. And it's going to be really hard to complete that. But that's kind of the journey, and the whole thing is like, hey, what can I find along the way and see. I mean, I built a pretty decent set in the last, I believe I started that in 2010. So, but it's cool. The thing I like the most about it all, though, is you learn the history. I was born in 1980. I wouldn't have no clue about some of these guys in the 60s and 70s if it weren't for baseball cards. So I could look at these cards and follow their journey and see how they were as players. And then I could talk to some of my coaches about these guys and kind of understand who they were.
That's pretty cool. I like hearing that, man, because that's usually, and I don't know, Brody, for you, but that's how I got to know a lot of baseball history myself, was by collecting cards as a kid. I was born in 70, but in the late 70s and then early 80s, we had computer games back then where you could input the data, and we used baseball cards a lot in the baseball encyclopedia to go through that stuff. So it kind of gave me a good understanding of the history of the game of baseball, and I really learned the same way as you pretty much about the great players of the game, just through baseball cards.
Yeah, exactly. And that's kind of what I do coming up in the minors. I'll have this photographic memory just because of baseball cards. I'll remember stats, and it's kind of fun to I'll go over with the Phillies. I was sitting with a lot of their scouting department when I was injured, and we would talk about some of the guys we played against back in the day, and they would say, how do you remember this stuff? And it's like, well, I knew their signing habits. I knew, it's kind of weird stuff, but that's kind of the appeal for me.
Well, that's pretty cool. And then maybe this season, if you decide to play again, hopefully the White Sox will call you. They're still looking for bullpen help.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
But you know what? That's where, unfortunately, Pat, that's where you blew out your arm too. Was at Sox Park, or whatever they call it now, the guaranteed rate field. But I know that's where you had your arm issues too. Was at that field. So.
Yeah. Nick Swisher, you can't forget that one. That's tough to do. But it's weird how baseball works. Say I was healthy, would I have had the career I had? You never know. I mean, it's pretty wild, the journey that I've been on.
You've had an absolutely amazing career. I mean, it's been absolutely incredible. Yeah, you should. I mean, I've watched it with in awe, and I'm still missing some jerseys. So I gotta. I have some nice Pat Neshek game used jerseys, Brody. They're really nice.
Yeah,
they're a big part of my collection.
I unpacked some of my bags the other day, and I'm trying to sort them all out, and it's amazing the stuff that comes out of these. It's like it's just a walk through history.
I'm gonna have to come through and claim a few. I still need a few good jerseys.
Yeah, it's nuts. I mean, when I first came in '06, you would get like 2 or 3 jerseys, and you might have like a special Jackie Robinson day one. And now, I think like last year, 2 years ago, I think we had 20 some or 25 different jerseys. And
That's
it's just,
crazy.
you'd have a Memorial Day one, a July 4th one.
That's crazy.
So
Well, Brody,
I got a quick question for you. You know, you got all
Yeah.
those old sets with all the autographs and stuff. But what's your one favorite card that you own?
Oh man, one favorite card. Oh, geez, I have a few like kind of crazy ones where my dad would go on these trips for his work, and he would go to some of these shops, and they would have these common lots where you would get some cards from like the 50s and stuff. And he brought this Vic Raschi card. I think I actually sent it in a couple of years ago, and it graded like a PSA 2, but it was from like 1952. It was like my first like old card, like, and I just cherished the thing, and that's why I had it graded. So I thought that was one of my cooler ones. Anything like I said about like Kirby Puckett, some of those old ones. Steve actually, a couple of years ago, I sent in a Hank Aaron to get submitted and checked, and this thing was like my baby from when I was little. I sent him a through the mail. I think it was like in 1988, and he sent it back, and Steve crushed me, man. He said it was
Bad.
a secretarial autograph,
Yeah.
not real. But for about
sorry, buddy.
for about 28 years, I thought that was the greatest card I ever had. So.
That's really
Dream
awesome.
crusher.
Yeah, oh yeah. I still kept it though. But yeah.
Well, Pat, we appreciate you coming on. I know Brody appreciates it, and definitely would love to have you on. Oh, whoa! What's up, Brody?
So we
Uh-oh.
can't go yet. We have to do this real quick. The Brody the Kid rapid fire with Pat Neshek.
Ooh,
Let's
man.
do it.
So
Let's do it.
basically,
Whatever it is, I want to hear about it. Go ahead, Brody.
Basically, just gonna ask you two things, like a this or that question. You just gotta answer without thinking. Okay? Real
Okay,
quick.
yeah.
Okay, let's do it. Seeds or
Let's do it.
gum?
Bazooka gum.
Minty or fruity bazooka gum?
Fruit, the red, fruity, normal, original.
Soup or salad?
Soup for sure.
iPhone or Android?
Android.
Grass or turf?
Grass.
Hobby or retail?
Hobby.
Chocolate or vanilla?
Chocolate.
Batman or Superman?
Superman.
Autos or relics?
Autos.
Winter or Summer Olympics?
Winter.
Anna or Elsa?
Elsa.
I knew it!
Hey, I got 2 little girls. So.
He does. Well, thanks for going through this with us, Pat. We appreciate it a lot. And honestly, we don't know if you're going to play next year. Hopefully, you're going to play this coming season. I know you've had a absolutely amazing career. For people who have followed you, I have. We've been friends for a long time.
Yep.
I hope to see you, on the south side of Chicago next year, like on a 1-year deal, maybe second-year option.
I think I'm going to take the net out tomorrow. I usually throw into a net every year, and I think I'm going to test it out and see how it feels. We got to see how it feels first before we can make my next move. So
Get her up to like 95.
Hey, 90, I think I'll get a job here. So.
All right. I hope so, dude. Good talking to you, man. We'll see you soon.
Thank you, Pat.
Thanks, guys. Yep, thanks,
Pat,
Brody.
Appreciate it.
All
All right,
yep,
man.
bye-bye.
Thanks, man. All right, man.
Alrighty.
Later.
It is almost the end of our first episode of Hobby Life. Steve, can you believe it?
Well, it's gone pretty quick. We've had some great guests. The Buck City Breaks guys have been on with us. Pat Neshek. I want to thank, again, Beckett Authentication, Beckett Media, and, of course, Southern Hobby for being our sponsors for the show.
Yes, thank you very much.
In our last segment here is how we're going to end every episode. So it's a little thing we call host chat. So that's what we're going to call it.
Yeah, so we'll be talking and chatting about stuff that we've got coming up, or where you can find us and stuff like that.
Yeah, and so coming up for me, I don't really have a lot going on. January is a really calm month for Beckett Authentication. We've got some on-sites coming up, and you could always check out our stuff at beckett-authentication.com. You could check out our Instagram page at Beckett Authentication. January 20th, though, Pawn Stars resumes, and we have our big show we filmed at the National Sports Collectors Convention in Chicago. So we're going to have on some great items, and of course, you'll see some cool stuff on there that we also feature there. And don't forget, if you want to follow me too on Instagram, the real Steve Grad, it's really easy, or Twitter, Steve_Grad. Brody?
Okay, so I mean, nothing crazy for me either. You could check my blog out, like I said earlier, at bigleaguebreaks.com. You can follow me at Twitter at BrodyTK. Videos, the Daily Rip, giveaways sometimes, YouTube, Brody the Kid, more breaks and stuff. So,
Good man.
yeah.
I know you do some cool stuff on there. And you know what? I want to thank everybody for joining us today. What do you think? Do we do okay?
I was a little nervous, but I think we did all right. And yeah, just thank you guys for all tuning in today.
So don't forget, we'll be back in 2 weeks with another episode, more giveaways, and a special secret guest. And what else, Brody?
So we're going to be having Jeremy from Tops on here to come on and talk about products. It's going to be really awesome. Maybe we can get some scoops. I mean, I was Brody the Tops kids at one point in life.
It's going to be a great show. Remember to follow us, Hobby Life Show, across all platforms, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Let us know what you liked about today's show, or if you have any ideas for any upcoming broadcasts.
Thank you guys for tuning in.
Bye, everybody. Thank you.
Peace out.